Hi, I'm Grayson Greener. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm talking about the top 3 stretches you can do to improve your jiu-jitsu. Stick around to the end because number 3 might surprise you. First one is probably, I think, the most important stretch you can do in jiu-jitsu, and that's just the simple seated butterfly. The reason this is so important is because this is going to greatly increase your ability to stop people from passing your guard. If you're really tight through your hips and your knees can't separate, it's going to increase people's ability to get around your guard. So what that would look like is if my legs can only go maybe to 90 degrees here, my hips can only open 90, sometimes it's even less for some people. As somebody passing my guard starts pushing on that knee, it's gonna lift the opposite side knee. So if you can imagine my hips can't open even to 90 degrees, that'll be really exaggerated. And as this knee gets pressed to the mat, this knee is gonna start to cut in, which is gonna open this space up for your opponent to pass. So by increasing this flexibility here, as my knee gets pressed down to one side in guard, this knee can also help block this opposite path. So you can see if we have a lot of flexibility in our hips here and this knee can open up past 90 degrees, that's gonna create a block for that person trying to pass my guard. So with this stretch, we can bring the feet together. You can just grab your toes right here. I prefer to grab up here on the lower shin because I can use my elbows to press my knees down. So there's gonna come a point when it's a little difficult to press your knees any lower, but in reality, for jiu-jitsu purposes, we really don't have to go clear to 180 degrees. This is plenty sufficient here. So we can bring the heels in close and press. We can bring the feet out far away and lean forward and press. And you're gonna feel a little bit of a different stretch every time we do that. The more we bring our feet out and lean into it, you can kick in that glute stretch as well. So it's just overall a really great stretch anytime we want to increase the ability for our knees to open up. Stretch number 2 is often referred to as a 90-90 stretch or an S-mount stretch. And the great thing about this stretch is it's going to increase the ability for your heel or your foot to come to your head. And that is especially important anytime we're setting up arm locks or triangles. So if you can imagine, if I'm doing my triangle here, this foot needs to be able to come up high enough that I can lock it up. And so for a lot of people, that's actually pretty difficult to do. If I'm only able to bring my heel up to here, maybe 45 degrees in, it might be pretty difficult to get that heel behind my knee in order to lock up. So if you can take your heel and just drop it down in front of your thigh, that's a pretty good sign that you've got pretty good hip mobility and you've got good flexibility there. And that's gonna make your triangles a lot easier. That's one of the most important aspects of locking that triangle up, is actually the ability to bring that heel really high. So in order to stretch for that, we're just going to go into our S-mount position here, and I'm going to just lean into that leg. And based on the position that I put this foot, you're gonna feel that stretch in just a little bit different places. So by putting the foot far away, this one we wanna be a little careful on because that's gonna increase the amount of pressure on that stretch. But you'll feel a little bit of a different stretch every time we reposition that foot. And so we're just going to position that foot wherever is comfortable, and we're going to drop our chest down towards the shin, and we're gonna hold that for 30 seconds or longer, and then we can just switch sides. And you can just work this back and forth and adjust where that foot is each time. We can bring it in close, hold for 30, switch, bring it in close, and then we can just work our way out every time we switch, and that will increase that flexibility in every position based on where that foot might be. All right, stretch number 3. What is it? Calf and soleus stretches. So you might not normally think of these as jiu-jitsu stretches or important to jiu-jitsu, but I promise you, if you work on these, your game will improve. And the reason is we're gonna use that calf mobility and that ankle mobility anytime we're in this position. And we're gonna be in this position anytime I'm passing, but also anytime I'm in mount, especially when I start working high mount and S mount. When I'm in my normal mount position here, this is kind of just my stall position. Wait for my opportunity position. But when I actually go to attack, I'm gonna start climbing feet up and getting my feet to the mat. Even on the side that I'm attacking, I might bring this foot up to start isolating arms and doing other things. So I'll climb this side up, drop that knee, and start moving into more of my traditional S mount here. I also need this ankle mobility anytime I'm passing guard. So when I'm looking to apply pressure or move in, when my foot is connected to the mat, I have a much more stable base. I also have a lot more tightness here. You can see if I can't drop that heel, there's a lot of open space here, and this is really unstable. So when that drops, I can really start to pressure in on that pass. I'll also often pass right from here. And you can see that when I have both heels down, I can just drop a knee and start to kind of move that direction. And so